Shema Hope you enjoy this next study. My name's Dee. This is my wife, Millie.
So if you like what you see, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you wish to reach out to us, you can email us at devotedtoyah@gmail.com.
Okay, so with that being said, we went morning to morning, right? Verse 21. So they gathered the manna morning by morning, everyone as much as he could eat. But when the sun became hot, it would melt. Verse 22. Now on the sixth day, they gathered twice as much. Again, the pattern is already set. They're not gathering manna in the evenings. They're gathering in the mornings to carry them for the entire day, which includes the evening. Yeah, they started off with quail in the evening. Let's just say on day one. On Sunday, okay, which we believe a day starts when the sun sets. The moment evening came, and we can, I'm even okay with saying before the sun set, there was a cloud and quail showed up. Okay, so that way, what people can take that quail in the night and cook it, which would make sense because let's just put it this way. It's kind of repetitious. We've been talking about Passover and unleavened bread. Passover is on the 14th at evening because, and if watch my other videos. I'm not going to go through it all again and go through the share screens, but the 14th at evening. So the Passover is the lamb which is slaughtered. It's killed. It is butchered on the 14th at evening before the sun sets. After the sun is set, you're prepping that food, you're cooking that lamb, and you're eating in that night. So it's kind of the same concept. So they get the cloud, the quail, and they're cooking and eating quail that night. That's what they have for dinner the first day in verse 8. Okay, the first day that all this is being discussed from verse 8 and on for the first day. I don't know when the quail actually came up. Yeah, so 13 is when it manifested. Okay, verse 13. So it came about at evening that quails came up and covered the camp. And remember, as I was saying before, evening is a span of time that is half of it is in the nighttime and half of it is in the day, or I should say half of the evening is in the daytime while the sun is on its way on the process of going down. Then after the sun sets, after that threshold is the second half of the evening. So in the evening, whatever portion of the day that was, in the evening, the quails came. And I'm imagining that they ate quail immediately that night. They're not going to save the quail for the next day. However, we don't see it being repeated verbatim. We see there being a focus on manna, and manna was being gathered. And let me just say again, we brought up Numbers chapter 11, verse 6, which again lets us know that that manna that they're receiving was something that was sustaining them for both breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if they had 3 meals a day. I'm just giving an example. Okay, it wasn't as if they were eating only manna for breakfast and then fasting for the rest of the day. No, I believe that they were gathering enough manna. That's all they had. That's the only food they had, to the point where in Numbers chapter 11, verse 6, they're saying, all we have is this manna. Give us something else to eat. Okay, so anyway, let's go back to the Exodus. Moses said to them, no one is to leave any of it until morning. But they did not listen to Moses, and some left part of it until morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was angry with them. They gathered it morning by morning, everyone as much as he would eat. But when the sun became hot, it would melt. 22. All right. Now on the 6th day, they gathered twice as much. So now instead of gathering what you gather for the morning to carry you into that evening, a whole 24-hour period, now you're gathering twice as much for 48 hours. Okay. It says, gather twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. When all the leaders of the congregation came and told Moses, then he said to them, this is what Yahuwah meant. Tomorrow is a Sabbath observance, a holy Sabbath to Yahuwah. And right here, people will say, you see, Brother D, keep in mind, it's the morning time, right? Or it's during the day. And they're saying tomorrow. And so, again, people are trying to lay the framework that they think that this passage is proving that a day starts in the morning. But first of all, it's not letting us know if Paul is speaking in the evening or Moses is speaking in the evening. It's fair to say he's speaking during the day. That's when people are gathering. Okay. They're gathering, right? On the 6th day, they gathered. That's when they gather. They gather in the morning. So he speaks during the daylight hours, and he says tomorrow is a Sabbath observance, a holy Sabbath to Yahuwah. Bake what you will bake and boil what you will boil, and all that is left over put aside to be kept until morning. How much time roughly is it from morning to morning?
A full day.
A full day. A full day is roughly about how many hours in American understanding?
About 24.
About 24. Okay. So he's not, when he's saying tomorrow, he's not going to be talking about the evening because that's not an entire 24-hour period. So he's going to be talking about the same pattern he's already laid out, morning by morning. Things are being laid up for the morning. Things are being laid up, but don't keep it until the next morning. Okay, but at this point, he says, this is what Yahuwah meant. Tomorrow is a Sabbath observant, a holy Sabbath to Yahuwah. Bake what you will bake and boil what you will boil, and all that is left over put aside to be kept till morning. So they put it aside until morning, as Moses had ordered. And it did not stink, nor was there a maggot in it. Then Moses said, eat it today, for today is a Sabbath to Yahuwah. Today you will not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will be none. So again, people are saying, oh, you see, Brother D, Moses said today, and he's talking in the morning, and he's saying today, versus the day before was the morning before, and he said tomorrow, therefore a day starts in the morning. You can't do that because, first of all, they were collecting morning by morning already anyway. They were collecting morning by morning, and then when Moses made the announcement that tomorrow, he's speaking in the morning. I can understand if Moses made another announcement in the evening and said tomorrow, that would be a different story. If Moses spoke again after the sun set and said, brothers and sisters, people of Israel, tomorrow you shall see what I have been speaking, right? Then it would be clear, but all we see is Moses speaking the previous morning, and there's Moses speaking the next morning and saying it's today. For us, there's no conflict because for us, a day starts in the evening. So the moment that sun sets, it's the next day already. There's no conflict there. But like I said before, you can't forget about verse 8. You can't forget about the quail that was given. It was given in the evening, and manna was given in the morning. That was the original pattern that we saw. And I feel like this passage here, I feel like it does prove that a day starts in the evening. What else? Verse 27. Yet it came about on the 7th day that some of the people went out to gather, but they found none. Then Yahuwah said to Moses, how long do you refuse to keep my commandments and my instructions? Okay, so again, yet it came about on the 7th day that some of the people went out to gather. They were strapped up, ready to go, had their farming tools, all their, equipment, ready to gather, despite what Moses said. First of all, quail is just showing up out of nowhere. And then this man is showing up out of nowhere. There's miracles going on left and right. And you want to sit here and still be disrespectful to the leadership that is leading this assembly, leading this people of Israel. Like it blows my mind. But to their demise, they found none. Verse 28. Then Yahuwah said to Moses, how long do you refuse to keep my commandments and my instructions? See, Yahuwah has given you the Sabbath. For that reason, he gives you bread for 2 days. On the 6th day, remain everyone in his place. No one is to leave his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. And we'll speak about this more in the next video.